Hello, welcome back. I feel better now, going on from my last video, so this is my next bit of the video going on the snow. I think that was the last video, I can't remember. Sorry, it's a bit dark. I've got the light on in the shed. Hang on. Oh no, it's not plugged in. Never mind. Anyway, so I'm doing some work on the Punto. Keep calling it a Citroen, I noticed before. It's not a Citroen. It's obviously definitely a Peugeot. Oh, here comes the dog. Hello. So I've got the old crash bar off and I'm going to show you. I made some boo-boos along the way, so yeah, I have never removed a crash. No, it's not a crash bar, a bumper bar or a slam panel. And I drilled out a lot of the spot welds, which was, I showed you in my last bit. I got some new bits and they work so much more better. One of them, just the one, did the whole lot compared to the last one, which was that crappy thing, even though it looks the same. There is another one on the other side, but yeah, that lasted like 3 spot welds. It was just horrendous. But so I've took it off and I've took more of the frame off that was supposed to stay on the car. I don't know what I did, but I'm going to show you. It's a bit dramatic, but I'm going to have to weld the bits back on that I took off. It looked like it was all one structure, but yeah, it's not. So this is where we are. So to give you an idea of how many spot welds there was, there's that one, 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 that one. And then, I mean, this was the messy bit to start off with before, because obviously we were taking it off with the drilling, that didn't work, but yeah. But that's alright down here. So you were left with this piece, and that's just come off there, which was like that. I do apologise if my camera looks like it's always away from the screen. I look through the screen and I always never get it into focus, but yeah, so that was there, so you can get an idea of what should be there. Now, oh yeah, here comes the other side. I took too much off, so that piece you see there shouldn't have come off. So look, yeah, I cut that piece. I think, no, I thought that was a bit off. No, but anyway, effectively that bit should be staying on there like that bit there. So I've lost a little bit, but yeah, it's not the end of the world trying to get it back on. It's just a bit of weld. I've cut it there, there's a cut. So I think all it is that piece. It actually looked like it was a part of the frame. I mean, I did cross-reference against that one all the time. But, what was it on that bit over there? Could be the back bit there, I don't know. There was a piece there. But yeah, I kept cross-referencing it and I got carried away, and in between that's going to take the dog to have a nail trimmed, because the poor thing is yelping when I take her for a walk, and I didn't know if the vets were back open, but they allowed her to go in and have her nails chopped off because it was a hazard to her feet. So yeah, so I went off and did that, come back, and then I just carried on. I mean, mine was in 2 places and I just cut through that bit thinking that was part of it, but yeah, if you look you can clearly see that bit should be there and that should be there. So I'm going to have to weld that bit back on. It's not, I mean, the actual frame itself, which is that bit, I mean, if you imagine you slammed into that as an accident, that I've not damaged any of that, so that's the actual main structure. Same with that. This is just some sort of support bracket that just goes along the top bit here. You know, I suppose you put spot welds in everywhere possible, you know, to support it. So I mean, obviously if I'd cut through this and chopped all that off, that'd be a bit more serious, but this bracket I've cut does actually come away from it anyway. I mean, I could get that bracket, but I have no idea what it would be called. But you can see it there. It is welded on separately from the chassis leg, but there you go. Anyway, I'll come back to you in a minute once I've had a look. I might actually just line it up and see what it looks like. Right, I've got the panel on. It would appear, well, obviously this panel's brand new and it's a pattern part. It's a genuine part, so I know it's not bent. Let me show you the bolts on as I could line up, so it would say to me that the chassis legs are slightly bent, so I've hammered them a bit. It's, if you can see, Yeah, they don't quite line up, do they? I mean, they're going in, so it's not the case, is it? Just because it's going in doesn't mean it's going to necessarily line up. It lines up here and I can get it on, but what happens when you put the rest of it on? That was the whole point in changing this, because if the slam panel's slightly out, then it makes everything else slightly out, doesn't it? So oh well, that's far off now. I put a bit of I bent it a bit with that, the old trusty ram, and I give it a bit of a whacking, as you can see. But you know, I don't think I'm going to bend them anymore. It's not worth me going any further on this. I mean, it's on. That one's probably the worst one. This one just about going in. I did hammer it. I've done the same on this side, but you can appreciate how off that is. But you know, so the legs need going right, both of them. Well, no, that one needs going right a bit, and that one needs coming in, which I've done. I've bashed to death. Obviously that's the messy side, isn't it? But you know, we just have to get on with it now. But obviously on the previous one we didn't have all the metal up here to put the lights on, and that's what we're mostly achieving, is the lights. So I'm going to go with that, and that's about as far as I'm going to go. Oh, it's not worth it. By the time I've finished, I don't intend to make any money out of this car. I don't really do it for the money, as I've said before. It's more of a hobby. I'll just make a car look better. I mean, it drove around with a previous bad repair. I mean, obviously the legs are slightly out. Doesn't detach. It doesn't take away the structure. It still will be secure and crash worthy. I mean, if the legs were bent left and right, then obviously that's different. Imagine that on that crappy car. God, it just ain't worth it. But anyway, let's move on. I'm going to drill out. Need to drill out all the old, drill holes for the spot welds and then plug them up with my welder. I'm not very good at welding, so I've got to just address that now. I've got to find the piece. It's here somewhere. And thankfully today it's 12 degrees. You wouldn't believe that. We got snow 2 days ago, as you might see in the beginning of this video or the last video. And now it's 12 degrees with sun out, and then tomorrow it's snowing again. Next day it's snowing. Then we've got rain in between. It's like 12 today, and it's dropping down to -2 tonight. It's very bizarre our weather around here. But there you go. Let's get on and see where we get. Right, it's welded back on. I'm not even going to show you my welds, but they're pretty bad. Yeah, but I put some paint on, primer. Noisy, sorry, I live by a school. You can see by all the wire, my welder was driving me up the wall. It keeps, I can only describe as spitting. When you press the trigger, the wire comes out like juddery, like, and it's so annoying. But I haven't had this long, but would you say that's damp? Because that's coming out of there. It keeps stopping, so I've took this piece off, wound it up, and it goes like that. It just, it's so freaking annoying. I just get on my nerves today. But I don't know if it's the wire or is it because it's damp. I don't know. It was damp when I collected it out of the cupboard, but I've adjusted it there. But you can see loads of white stuff. So someone tell me please, do I need different new wire? Is the wire? I've adjusted everything so the teeth's catching. I've took that off, and as you press it, when you go to weld, it judges, it goes, but as soon as you start welding and then press the button on the trigger as if you're not touching any metal, it comes out fine. As soon as you touch a piece of metal, it just goes, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So as you weld, you're left with big pieces like that, and the amount of times it stopped. I've checked the end's fine. I put a new tip on it. I can show you the end. Well, I just bent it, so ignore that. But can you see? Oh, come on, you stupid camera. Can it? Oh God, let's see if we can get it to line up. Put it there. Hope you can see that. But yeah, it's freely coming through. It's not like it's stuck. And I've changed the tip. Oh, it just made life so difficult today. And you can tell by all the metal. Look, loads of them. I have to keep cutting it off all the time because it wouldn't feed. Anyway, I can't line that up yet because the paint's still drying on those. But anyway, without that far, so yeah, it will either be, this will be added on to a video, or it will become part of one, God knows. Anyway, so if anybody can tell me in the comment section what they think the possible problem with the welder is. It's not old. I got it from Machine Mart as it's a Clark. That was the only one I could get local. It's a couple of months old, but I haven't used it for a while. But yeah, it's just pissing me off. I have got another welder over there, which is, oh, hang on. God, I'm being thick now. Where is it? Got one there, but yeah, it's not as good, that one. I bought that was a cheapy one off eBay, Chinese job. Anyway, right, welcome back for another episode on this lovely jubbly Peugeot 106 that they keep calling the Citroen C1 for random reasons. Thank you for all my well wishes on my last video about me having COVID. I'm definitely better now, and it was lovely to read messages from people, even people I didn't even know watched, commented, so that's really nice. But yeah, so thank you very much for that. I'm about 98% there now. No smell, no taste still, and my cough, well, even up until yesterday and that video that went out before, has been about 2 weeks, so I still keep getting a cough, so I'm just taking some cough medicine for that, but it seems to be helping. Anyway, I'm also filming on a different camera. I brought a new camera recently, and I've just bought another one. Well, two actually, because the first one was stolen in transit, which was nice. But yeah, so I managed to get another one. So I'm going to give this one a whirl and see what it's like. So I'm going to show you the car. Well, let's show you where we've got to. So I'm doing a bits on it now, on and off, because it snowed, rained, snowed, and the weather's just crap. It's 12 today, -2 yesterday, -2 tonight. 2, and then it was, yeah, -2 in the morning, and then like 2 on, no, -2 at night, and then it hovered about 2. But yeah, so it's 12 today, which is really random. Anyway, let's go and show you how far we are on the car. Right, so we're this far. So we've got the panel back on, got the radiator and the fan support behind it, horn. Some of these clips are broke, so I've had to put some ties on there. I've just, well, I mean, it's a little bit dry still, but after welding them up, I sprayed them, and then I've just put some paint on them about an hour ago, so that's dry enough for me to attach some bits. I've just put that on, even though it's not catching very well, but you know. But that's where we are at the moment. I was going to go in, here somewhere, I keep forgetting. Oh, there it is. So we're going to attach that. Oops. So yeah, I need to put the hoses back in there first. So I need to try and prop you up on a stand. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, my other one. Okay, let me get back. Right, let's put this back together. Right, so I've put that tape on there to tell me which one it is. So we don't need that tape anymore. If you're looking at this first time and seeing lots of overspray, trust me, that was already there before. This car's been written off once, but prior to it being written off, it already had another crash. It's really annoying. So if you're watching this video for the first time, so you go back in my playlist, you can appreciate the damage that was here before I even touched anything. Right, so we've got a 10. car does, it's only plastic. Just make sure these are loose still, because these are for the lights. I believe there's one underneath. I'm just about to screw the end. Right, so you may recall that when we fitted the lights before, we used these plastic clips. They were okay for the job, but yeah, hang on. So we've got loads of these clips that I bought for the road. Oh shite. Yeah, we didn't want to do that. Oops. Anyway, yeah, so these clips, they were okay. I mean, the headlights were a bit naff. But you know, we have to go with what we got. I'm not buying new headlights. So if I swing you around, I'll show you what I've got. So I'm going to fit that light like that, and then I brought these. Now bear in mind we're still in lockdown, it's very difficult to get things. So I got these on good old Amazon. And there's various clips. And these are mainly for putting skirts back on cars or bumpers and under trays. So there's two types. So my plan is to use these to put under, slide under the hole as such. But if I had somewhere to put things, like a moving tray, that'd be cool. Right, so on that one, I've got this design because they slid under. I mean, it's really difficult to get originals. So you've got this big massive one, which is that. Can you see there? Yeah, you get the drift. Maybe that's too big. Well, we've got this smaller one, which is probably going to be the better one. Oh yes, that's beautiful. I'm quite happy with that. Go and get the other one. So it's a bit warm today, the birds are out chirping, don't blame them. They'll be happier than me. So we've got that one there, can you see? Yeah, you can see down there. I'm not used to this new camera. Oh, that's beautiful, that is. I'm really happy with that. So it just meant that I can put these new bolts straight in. We've got a Phillips head, so let's use a screwdriver. And this was a good guess. And I wanted something that had a built-in washer. So we're still out a bit, aren't we? That was the whole point of this new slam panel. But we'll go with what we got. Comes to the conclusion it's never going to be perfect. But it'll certainly be better. And then we've got, we did loosen that wing off. The annoying is this new wing we got here, I've manipulated it that much to try and get it to fit. It probably isn't even going to line up at all now. Get the light. It's certainly better than using those self-tappers that was being used before. Stay there, light, don't fall. So as you can see, it's still not brilliantly lining up, but I need to go with what I've got now. I can't be fussy anymore. I really can't. So I can't be bothered to keep pissing around with this. Bonnet down. There's somewhat there. I don't think the bonnet's going to push right down there. I haven't got the clip properly. It's lovely, isn't it? That one's like 1,000 miles out. And that one's 1,000 miles out. Oh, I give up. Well, I'm going to come back to you because this is going to be some feckling, isn't it? This is not a camera worthy. Right, I'll see you when I'm hopefully better with, well, you know. What, the gaps are atrocious. I mean, you may look and think it don't look too bad. So there's a bit out here. That's not too bad. There's a bit of a gap, but that will come up. I've just realised there's a bracket here. It's completely missing off the other side. So there's nothing for the wing to attach on to bring it back up in line. So if I can find that, I don't know, or maybe I'll make a bracket, I don't know. So I've got the bonnet off, trying to get lines. I've got that in there to hold it. You can see it's miles away still. I've took the latch off because it's driving me up the wall, keeping on latching it. So I don't look too bad about there. On the other side, wow, again, you got that bit sticking out. It's just mad here. And I could bring it up like that. So if you can envision it being up there, but then watch. Let me just lift that up. To get that up there, it's going to have to be like that. Obviously the chassis legs are out. It's got to be. There can't be anything else for it. It's driving me up the wall. I mean, it kind of looks from a distance, it looks alright. But you can see, like, it's just, I mean, obviously I've got the bonnet off a bit. Trying to line it up and get it to line there. So I can get it to go there. I've bent the brackets along a bit, but yeah, that hasn't much made a difference. There's a gap there, but one side tightening it up and push the wing in. That gives that back. But we've still got this gap. It gets a bit better. I mean, I can't fickle any more here, because then we end up with a bigger one. I've got it underneath there. It's endless. I really don't know what to do with it. Obviously the chassis legs are bent. I would say that way, possibly that way, because it's sort of, it is a pain in the ass. It's hardly noticeable as well when you look at it. That bracket's a pain. It won't be, do you know what, I mean, I don't want to bodge it, but if I have to bodge it, I will have to bodge it, because I'm not going to spend any more money on this crappy thing. It's just not feasible or worth it. I'll end up getting rid of it at a loss, which is a pain, but there you go. But I mean, if you can make the gaps look okay, they're not so bad. If I could get it to sit in better, it would be alright. But the last thing on the earth you want is the headlight up there. I mean, it's got to pass an MOT yet, so it might not pass with the headlight up in the air. I mean, it sits perfect. They sit fine. But obviously watch when you put the bonnet down. Look at that gap. I mean, obviously I can bring it in a bit by pulling it down. But we're still massively out. And I thought perhaps the bonnet catches are bent. So I have had it off and bent them. But you're still left with this big humongous piece. I mean, but if I took it off and bent the catches, and then it will pull all this out. I mean, that's better. At least it's tucked under, though it's out a bit. But I could move that a bit. I mean, even so, that one's not even lining up. As you can see, I can see why it was bodged to death now to get it to work. I don't know when it was bodged, because I don't even know if it passed the MOT when it was bodged, but what do you do? It's driving me up the wall. I really don't know what to do. Any suggestions? What do you think? I mean, you've got to finish it, haven't you? No one wants to bodge a job, but I've got to draw the line somewhere. Trying to make it look half decent. I ain't even bothered. I ain't even done the bumper yet. I mean, the bumper's still in here. I've got to give that a bit of a sand and a whatever paint, and the bumper. Well, I'm going to do the bumper bar. Maybe I should put the bumper on so it looks like. But this bracket's missing for this corner. Well, the other corner. So I don't know how I'm going to attach that. I don't know. let me know in the comments what you think. Any suggestions would be much appreciated, even though I might have possibly got further by then, by the time this video comes out, but you know. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time with a better outcome, hopefully. Thank you. Bye bye.